Good evening, YouTube. This is Keith from Keith's Aquariums. I'm going to do a quick water change and show you how I do it and some of the things I do. And yeah, that's what we're fixing to do. I'm kind of shooting from the hip here. Don't have anything specifically planned, just on the spur of the moment. So first what I do is I get my siphon going. So I use this old ice chest here, which turns out to be about a 30% water change when I fill this ice chest up. If I fill that up, that's about a 30% water change. Now, I've got a lot of evaporation, and I've already siphoned some out. Didn't realize I was fixing to do a video. Got to get a little water siphoning. Then I let that siphon. Be sure to keep an eye on your container that you're siphoning into, because you don't want to get an overflow. And always keep a towel handy. Always got a towel over here, because it's always turned out to be a big mess. So a lot of times what I do when I start doing a water change is I kind of trim my plants up a little bit. You can see this sage right here is kind of getting a little crazy. So I just come through here and trim up the sage a little bit. And try to kind of groom it, you know. Kind of like doing a little yard work. Just kind of trim it up. You want to be sure you pull all these little pieces out too as best you can, because that decaying material in there is going to cause excess nutrients, and we know what excess nutrients means. More likelihood of an algae bloom. Speaking of algae, I do have a few tufts of algae here and there, but it's nothing that I'm too bothered about. When I first started getting algae, it freaked me out. I was like, oh my gosh, I have algae. But now it kind of turns out to be kind of like part of the natural system in the tank. And I don't mind it so much. As long as it doesn't take over or start really becoming an eyesore. Great thing for algae is this duckweed. Let me show you some duckweed here. See all this floating stuff right here? That's all duckweed. And duckweed is a fantastic algae killer. It really absorbs all the excess nutrients. Any kind of floating plant you can get is going to be a good thing. Speaking of floating plants, I also have the Hygrophila deformis here. It has this unique shape. I don't know if you can see that on the camera there. And I just keep some floating over here all the time, and it really works well. I just try to keep it out from front of a little bit of a little highlight plants I have over here. So I go through, try to clip up some long stems, and let me get a little bit more of this right here. Check out the German blue ram. Check him out. They were talking about how CO2 and fluctuations in pH with the CO2 is bad. The German blue rams can't handle it, but mine have been doing fantastic. Well, I just got one, but he's been doing well. He eats. He's very social. Whenever I come up, he's looking for something to eat. He's a cool fish. And my water tank is getting more full. Speaking of water changes, I hardly ever rinse my filter out. Maybe once every 5 or 6 water changes do I ever even change my pads in my hang-on back filter here. So anyway, I think my water's getting almost full, and the other day I had to trim back. I was getting some dead limbs. There's dead leaves on some of these plants here, and I just trimmed them off, and I don't know if that's probably a nutrient deficiency, so I added some more Osmocote root tabs. I use this Osmocote here and just kind of put it in here and there. It's not a root tab, but I take some gel capsules and fill some of this Osmocote stuff and just kind of jam it down in around in the substrate. And I'm hoping that'll take care of my nutrient deficiency problem. But yeah, the Jungle Val's really taken off. Got a bunch of new sprouts of Jungle Val in here. And the Ludwigia Ripens, I can't even keep it under control. It grows up out of the water. And yeah, it just, I got so much of it, I don't know what to do. I tried growing some in my pond, and it didn't do too well out in the pond. So I just pulled the last bit of it up out of the pond this evening. So I don't know if it was the temperature thing, because I mean we're in Texas right here, and the water outside, I don't know how hot it gets, but it feels like hot bath water out there. Fish are doing fine. I have guppies out there, and a goldfish, a black moor. But anyway, I'm doing a fish tank video and I'm talking about my pond. So anyway, yeah, I'm about to do a refill here, and that's all I have for now. We'll come back in a few minutes and I'll show you how I do a quick refill. And if you have any questions or comments, comment and subscribe. Thanks.